Health alert for dog owners. The CDC and FDA says do not give your pets any pig ear treats after a multi-state outbreak of human salmonella continues to get worse. Over the past month, 127 people in 33 states have gotten salmonella, and dozens of them have actually had to be hospitalized. So far, there have been 2 voluntary recalls after products tested positive for bacteria. Here to talk more about this and keeping yourself safe as well, Dr. Megan Brown. Thanks for coming on. So it's something that we don't think about when we think about pet treats, but you touching them with your hands, you probably need to wash afterward, and this is a great example of why.
Yes, thank you for having me. You can get, when you're giving the pets the treats, it's on your hands, so you want to make sure that afterwards you wash your hands really good, because after that you're touching your own food, you're touching your kids, your family members. So yeah, it can spread. It can spread quickly.
So how does salmonella get in these treats, I guess, because just what it's made of, or?
Could have been somebody who works at the facility who had it. Some people can be carriers and not know that they have it. You can, once you have it, you still get rid of the virus for the bacteria for a long time. So you could still be getting rid of it and not know it. And then you touch the treats and it gets contaminated.
So what are the signs and symptoms that you're getting sick from this?
So the typical case, like I said, some people can be asymptomatic, so they don't have any symptoms at all. But nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, that's the usual, the easy one. It's self-limiting, it goes away. Occasionally some people can get a little bit more sick. They get fevers, they can have prolonged issues, they can get infections in their bones and all that kind of stuff, but that's not very common.
And those are probably the rare cases that have been hospitalized.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, can you give this to somebody if you have it? Because I know obviously you're saying being a carrier, but there has to be touch involved, correct, to pass it along?
There has to be contact, yes.
Okay. So your advice would probably be don't buy these pet treats at all right now, right? Because I mean, you don't really know what brands are safe and not. I mean, I know everybody loves the pig ears for their dogs, but it's kind of scary.
So I would probably stick to non-animal products for right now. And then hand hygiene. Hand hygiene is the best that you can do. So if you touch treats, you touch your dog, because dogs can be carriers too. So if you touch your animals, which we love to do, just make sure that you wash your hands. And then for parents, you want to make sure that you're watching your kids and make sure they're washing their hands really good.
Oh yeah. And is this a reminder too, I mean, should we do it for when we feed them actual food? I mean, it's just something I feel like we do every day as pet owners, and you don't think that's actually not something you want to just keep on your hands.
Right. So the other thing is food. It's the most common is like chicken. You have poultry, you have dairy, eggs. So when you're preparing food, we have kids that come in with salmonella because their parents were cooking and they cooked the food that was contaminated, and then they picked it up. So for kids under 5, it's actually, we kind of get the vomiting and diarrhea pretty frequently.
I'm sure. That's awful. And then you really just have to wait it out, right?
You do. There's kids that get sicker, so the ones that are hospitalized, the ones who it's not just in their stomach, so they don't just get the vomiting, diarrhea, they get the fevers and they get more sick. Those kids actually, we put them on antibiotics. Everybody else we don't, because again, it stays in your system and you get rid of it for a while. And if you're on the antibiotics, it takes longer to get rid of.
Well, thank you so much for that warning. Definitely will not be buying the pig ear treats. And not that we're knocking them, but just right now it seems to be an issue, and you're going to want to stay away from them and wash your hands.
Yeah, and we're at Memorial Hospital. We have the pediatric ER there, so if the parents are nervous or they're not sure, they're always welcome to come and see us.
Definitely. It's always better to go to the doctor and figure it out than wait for it to get worse.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.